This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
.45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by J. Yogaraj. First the headlines. The President says late Kotugoda Dhammawasa Mahanayaka Thero always sought to propagate prosperity, unity and well-being of the people. A national policy on preschool education has been prepared. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment will cover all expenses related to quarantine facilities of migrant workers. Health guidelines with regard to the reopening of Western Province schools on Monday have been issued. Biden pressed on child migration at first news conference. And those are the headlines. The final rites of the late Chief Prelate of the Amarapura Chapter, Most Venerable Agama Pandita Kotugoda Dhammawasa Thero, was held yesterday at Independence Square under state patronage. Addressing at the final rite ceremony of the Mahanayaka Thero, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said, Chief Prelate of the Amarapura sect, Venerable Agama Pandita Kotugoda Dhammawasa Thero, always sought to propagate social well-being, prosperity, unity and well-being of the people. The President said that the late Mahanayaka Thero had rendered yeoman service to the country and the nation and was known to not only to the local Buddhist devotees but also to the entire Buddhist world. The President says that the late Mahanayaka Thero had exceptional skills and his sermons were admired by all followers both in Sri Lanka and in overseas countries. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa's message was read out by Minister Chamal Rajapaksa. It said that the Chief Prelate's demise taken from midst one of the most reputed monks who was well known for his Dhamm sermons and immense service to the Sasana. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa said that the Chief Prelate's demise was an immense loss to the country and to the Buddha Sasana. The late Mahanayaka Thero always offered advice and guidance to the country's leaders and raised his voice at crucial junctures for the country. He was on the top of discipline as a reputed bhikkhu who propagated Buddhism throughout the world. Several members of the Mahasangha, Colombo Archbishop Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit and several other religious leaders also present at this occasion. State Minister P.L. Nishanta says that a national policy on preschool education has been prepared. The draft of the policy has already been handed over to the Minister of Education, Professor G.L. Peiris. A committee comprising of professionals has prepared this policy in order to develop the quality preschool education. The government has also focused attention to pay an allowance to preschool teachers. The Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment will cover all expenses related to quarantine facilities, other medical and food and transport facilities of migrant workers returning home due to the COVID-19 situation. These facilities will only be available for migrant workers who have duly registered with the SLBC prior to departure. Recently, Labour Minister Nimal Siripal De Silva instructed the SLBC to formulate a system and find suitable private hotels and resorts to provide free quarantine facilities, which is an essential factor in the expeditious repatriation of migrant workers due to the epidemic situation. The SLBC has informed the minister it has selected 10 privately owned tourist hotels and resorts with the approval of the National COVID-19 Prevention Task Force to set up such quarantine centres. These 10 hotels can accommodate 571 people at a time. This news broadcast comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life.
Necessary health guidelines with regard to the reopening of the Western Province schools on Monday, March 29, have been issued to the relevant authorities. The Ministry of Education said, according to the statement, classes with less than 15 students can be conducted on a daily basis. Classes with 16 to 30 students will have to be divided into groups and conducted week after week. And the classes with 30 or more students will have to be divided into 3 groups, and classes must be conducted equal number of days. And that's local news.
Introducing Speed Investment with Sri Lanka Insurance, the only insurance policy that increases your sum assured by 5% every year for the same premium amount. You also get a bonus payment at maturity. What better plan to have when you can invest now and relax later? The Speed Investment Plan from Sri Lanka Insurance. Give a high five to life. Sri Lanka Insurance. Like a father, like a mother.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Yesterday confirmed another 108 fresh cases of the coronavirus in the country, as total infections detected within the day reached 271. This brought the total number of COVID-19 confirmed cases in the country thus far to 91,289. Department of Government Information said 20 of the newly identified cases are returnees from foreign countries. According to the Epidemiology Unit, 2,851 patients infected with the virus are currently under medical care at designated hospitals and treatment centers, while total recoveries have reached 87,881. The death toll due to the COVID-19 pandemic in the country stands at 557. And that was main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Washlight, preliminary investigations by the customs have revealed that nearly 70 million rupees has been brought to the country using illegal methods after sending more than 450 metric tons of waste tea to Iraq. The main suspect in the racket was arrested by the Customs Risk Management Unit recently, and investigations have revealed the above facts. And that came to you in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines first. Biden pressed on child migration at first news conference. Dutch sign up for COVID-19 test holiday on Greek island. Elephants driven to the brink of extinction by poaching. And those are the headlines. U.S. President Joe Biden was pressed on how he would address the surge in migrants at the southern border at his first official press conference. More than 17,000 children are being kept in government detention centers, and Mr. Biden was challenged on whether his policies could be contributing to the increase in the child arrivals. A Dutch travel firm will take nearly 200 people for an 8-day holiday to Greece, aimed at seeing if tourism is feasible during the COVID-19 pandemic. Those picked will have an all-inclusive gateway on the island of Rhodes at a cost of $472 per person, but there are some catches. They will not be allowed to leave the resort and will have to quarantine for up to 10 days when they return home. The ivory trade, a loss of vital habitat, and a deeper understanding of elephant biology have all combined to reveal a previously underestimated threat to Africa's elephants. African forest elephants are now critically endangered. An update from the International Union for the Conservation of Nature reveals the savanna elephants are also endangered. And that's World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by Nivea along with CIB. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment and 20% discount for bank card holders during 16th to 30th March. Our product, our place. CIB.
The German government has extended financial assistance worth 8 million euros for the implementation of a 7-year project titled Supporting Vilpattu National Park and Influencing Zone Management in Sri Lanka. The project, commissioned by the German Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development, is being successfully implemented with the cooperation of the Wildlife Conservation Ministry and the Wildlife Conservation Department. And that was Development News.
Development News was brought to you by Nivea along with CIB. Valuable gift vouchers for every bill payment and 20% discount for bank card holders during 16th to 30th March. Our product, our place. CIB.
In sports, a year later than expected, Japan has finally kicked off its Olympic torch relay. Athletes will now carry the flame across all the country to arrive in Tokyo for the opening ceremony on 23rd July. The global pandemic forced the games to be postponed from last year to this year. And that was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The brand BOC has been named as the country's #1 banking brand for the 12th consecutive year by the Brand Finance Sri Lanka. Since its inception, the Bank of Ceylon's motive has been the same, that is, promoting social and economic development of the country and its people. The Bank of Ceylon has been a trusted financial partner to the clients for over 81 years and has reached extraordinary milestones such as being the first Sri Lankan bank to surpass an asset value of 2.8 trillion rupees.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Sri Lanka Tea Board SLTB stated recently that it has performed well in January and February this year, earning 41 billion rupees export revenue compared to the start of last year. The total tea production too had increased when compared to the last year. And that was economic news.
Congratulations on your promotion. When will be our treat, huh?
How about today?
Oh no, I was just joking.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers or thundershowers will occur in the eastern and Uva provinces and in Hambantota district. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the Sabaragamuwa, western, northwestern and central provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts during the evening or night. Fairly heavy falls, above 50 millimeters, can be expected at some places in Sabaragamuwa, western and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Before we conclude this morning news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The President says late Kotukuda Dhammawasa Mahanayakatero always sought to propagate prosperity, unity and well-being of the people. A national policy on preschool education has been prepared. The Sri Lankan Bureau of Foreign Employment will cover all expenses related to quarantine facilities of migrant workers. Health guidelines with regard to reopening of Western Province schools on Monday have been issued. Biden pressed on child migration at first news conference. And with that, we conclude this morning news broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.